Hey everybody, Donnie here. I'm not sure what happened with the last video that I made, but there was no sound coming out of it, and I believe I fixed the issue at this point in time. So I want to kind of like reiterate what I was trying to talk about in the last video that I now since taken down. I'm sorry for whatever's going on outside. It's actually snowing outside, so there's a lot of snow trucks passing by. So if you guys hear that throughout this video, I'm really sorry. Just want to let you guys know. Just snowstorm. So about the TikTok ban. So we're gonna go into a little bit of a brief history about it and why it got to this point and my thoughts on about it, and it's based off of the information that I have, and I don't want anybody else to come after anybody or anybody in particular. It's just something that kind of just happened. So back in 2020, I started my personal TikTok, which was originally annoying or annoyingly Donna. It was one of those two. And it eventually got rebranded into Uniquely Donna because it no longer, being annoying no longer fit who I was as a person, because notice that I was more unique than I was annoying. That's kind of like how my personal TikTok kind of became what it is now, and stuff like that. So just a little bit of kind of preface of what my personal TikTok is all about. It's just me being goofy as heck, and also kind of just showcasing my talents a little bit and stuff like that, trying to promote my business also a little bit and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm diverging from what I really want to talk about here. So back in 2020, shortly after I started, like sometime around the time that I started this journey through TikTok, Donald Trump decided to create a bill where he was going to ban TikTok. If you guys don't know, TikTok is one of the social media apps that are run under a Chinese business by the name of ByteDance. And even though it is run by ByteDance, all the data centers that are within the US version of TikTok is actually within US, and whatever data is here doesn't get transferred over to like any other country or even to ByteDance. Whatever data or information, as far as I'm aware of, is strictly through the various data centers that are within the US alone. So, and without having the proper evidence, there was no clear reason or clear way to prove that ByteDance is selling any information or any data from U.S. citizens to China or the Chinese Communist Party. Like I said, there's not enough information, and the person who's in charge of TikTok is he actually is from Singapore. He was born and raised in Singapore after Singapore got its independence from China. So there was no clear, even though many politicians were trying to prove that the CEO of TikTok was from China, he clearly rebutted and like doubled, tripled, multiple down. Like he doubled down multiple times, saying, "Oh no, I'm not from China. I'm from Singapore. I'm Singaporean. I've done 2 years of military training through the Singaporean government. Went to college here in the U.S." And yet there are a lot of the politicians that we have now, one in particular just made himself kind of sound incredible. Like not a credible person to question the CEO of TikTok. So it's kind of weird. Fast forward to a few months ago, a lot of people didn't take it seriously that TikTok was going to be banned, and then within the last few weeks, from the time of me filming this or refilming this, a lot of people started to feel more dread because it felt more real, and then people kept going back and forth on whether or not TikTok was going to get banned within the US, and if Apple and Google were going to get fined, as well as many of the 170 million US based TikTok users for just simply using the app or downloading the app up to to that point and stuff like that. It was just crazy, and because many politicians claimed it was the reason as to why they're banning TikTok was for national security, it kind of felt more like there was something else that they were in turn, like they were just it felt like more there was another reason as to why they were banning TikTok, and it wasn't just under national security. And like that's something that I also kind of believed in my defense as well. I don't think it was just for national security reasons. My reason as to why I think many politicians were trying to ban TikTok within the U.S. is mainly for one reason alone. I think that reason was mainly because they, for some, it was mainly because my thought process is they don't have any stock. Not, I think it's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not only probably because they don't have any stock within TikTok, but rather they many politicians believe that they should own TikTok as a whole, and in turn use the media within the US based TikTok version and twist it to only only show what they want everybody as a community within TikTok in US soil to believe. Whereas in a lot of cases, TikTok should be used as a freedom of speech, and if people like to show their information based on true sources rather than based off of what the U.S. government wants us to see, or what the U.S. media wants us to see, that that's just what they want. And it's like TikTok, what people really want to see on TikTok versus what the U.S. government wants us to see diverges. And it's just two separate things based off what people end up wanting to have, which is an app where people can show what they can do through the app. And just the government versus its citizens are just showing two different things. And I noticed that like within the last 2 hours, I'm not sure if it was either by 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I'm not sure. I'm going to say within the last 2 hours of January 18th, which is less than a day ago by the time of me recording this, that was when they ended up banning TikTok. You could open the app, but then once you open up the app, I'm going to actually pull it up myself. When you open up the app, the first thing that you see when you open up, it says a law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. Mind you, Trump hasn't taken office yet until January 20th by the time you guys are watching this video. If you're not watching on the 19th, you're probably watching on the 20th or any time after that. January 20th would be the time where Trump would become president of the U.S. for a second term. I think this would be his last term unless something were to happen where if by any chance he ends up getting impeached. I'm not sure that would ever happen. Don't take my word for it. This is just based off of whatever is going on behind the scenes that no U.S. citizen would know unless you worked for the U.S. government back in District of Columbia, which is in Virginia. So as far as I know, based off like some of the information I gathered, there was an article at one point where it did say that the U.S. government, and yes, I'm holding one of the teddy bears I have, the U.S. government and TikTok will be working on a 50-50 basis where they, like, U.S. government would probably own half of it just based off of the data records that TikTok has within the United States, and then TikTok would still have the app running within the U.S. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% confident if this is actually true. This is based off of like an article that I had come across through Google. I haven't properly fact checked it, so that's why I'm saying that I'm not 100% confident that this is actually going to be enacted. For the time being, though, I think what is going on is that they're going to put a 90-day delay, so then at least somebody would be able to end up buying the rights to TikTok, at least for what's going to be happening in U.S. soil. I think there's like people like Mr. Beast that said he was gonna buy it. There's like a few other people that claim that they were gonna buy the rights to TikTok just so then the U.S. TikTok version would be run by whoever ends up buying the rights to the U.S. version of TikTok. So for the time being, I don't know what's going to happen. As far as I know, currently I could make videos on TikTok, but I can't go live. So what's happening is I think they're slowly bringing certain services on TikTok back, but you wouldn't be able to access to a lot of them until later down the line. As far as I know, that's the only thing I can confirm. Whether I can go live later in the week or not, that's not up to me really on TikTok. But if I do end up going back on like streaming on TikTok and then also streaming on here on YouTube once a week, I don't mind doing that as long as I can actually go live on TikTok at some point. I don't mind waiting. I'm rather patient. I'll still make video content on my personal TikTok as well as on my business TikTok. So if until then, that's all I can really say. I feel like I was just, blue balled or baited into believing that TikTok was going to be gone for good. In my viewpoint, and don't take my word for honestly, don't take my word as 100% factual, because even I don't fully know what's going to happen down the line. If TikTok is going to be gone for good, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. But I wouldn't, I'm fully prepared for what could end up being the inevitable in this situation, where it might actually be gone for good if nobody ends up buying TikTok. Nobody that is a U.S. citizen is going to be buying TikTok for U.S. citizens to essentially use. I'm just trying to make proper sentences, simply because it's like I don't know what to think anymore. It's like, it's wild. It's been like a wild ride the past week or so my mind's kind of fried. Okay, so if anything else happens, I'll let you guys know. I'll update you guys either in a future video, a future live stream here on YouTube. If something were to actually happen, I'll let you guys know. maybe either on like my Instagram, something. I'll let you guys know. Probably make a community post if anything. Also, I am going to be putting together the vlog from last week's market rather soon here on YouTube. So if you guys haven't seen it so far by the time of me posting this video, expect it within the next couple of days, hopefully. If anything, I'll just post on the community tab and let you guys know when it's going to be coming out and what's going to happen, and hope and pray, fingers crossed, knock on plywood, I would say this is what my desk is. Anyway, oh, you guys like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll hope to see you guys in the next video. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, I'll post up the next one in the next couple of days, hopefully. And I'll see you guys soon. Yeah. I'm fried. I'm like mentally and emotionally fried, so yeah.